Welcome to the Capital Subcommittee of the Finance Committee meeting, March 26th. Tonight, as posted, we'll go over the Parks Department capital plan. And we'll start with, Jim, you want to?
Yeah, the two commissioners.
Meetings for the three of you, so why don't you all come up?
3 against 1.
That's what it feels like.
Yep. All right.
Now, this is going to be a little different than previous years because we're not quite sure how much money we're going to have. We budgeted $1.75 million, but we also put away $1 million last fall.
What's the difference between this one and that one?
A little more updated. Actually, I have that what you have there. So the 850 that you have listed is 60 is actually from May 50. And we have it in. This is all October.
Oh, okay.
Right?
27.
I actually made a bunch. If you want to have a few extras for later.
Okay, thank you.
Escape. Yeah, right, that's where we're supposed to end.
Yeah, what I was saying is we put away $1 million at the fall town meeting
Yeah.
into the short-term capital account, but that's getting eaten up by different projects from different departments. So depending on what happens at the May town meeting, we may not be able to do everything we want. But let's at least go through it and start. So you get me the 5 questions in the background material, Jim?
Yeah, so I have all the quotes. So if we're looking at fall town meeting for October 2025, the list I had given you, the ADA compliance, that goes through Rick.
Yes.
The replacement of the dump bodies, so we looked into a couple options for that. I got 2 quotes for $15,000 installed for each, and that would replace the entire body. The reason why we need to replace these bodies is we had inspections in January, and the inspection person told us that these bodies would need to be replaced for next year or repaired. So an option may be, in speaking with Scott, our second option would be to have it repaired in-house, and in that case, it would just be pretty much covering the rot. We would still need money, but it may not be the full amount that's listed
So you're
there.
saying it's $15,000 each
Right,
body?
15 and change, so it's about 31 total is the quote. I had put in 40 because I didn't have the quotes at that time. So, come October, I don't see the prices of those going up too much because it's more something they have in-house. It's not something they have to order.
And when would we know if we can repair them ourselves?
Well, it would be a matter of, having Scott's mechanics look at it and see if it's something that they feel they can do, right? As far as the welding or whatever it might be.
It's just a time thing, it's all.
Yeah.
When we have time to get to it. May tie up a truck for a little while, but it's gonna be tied up anyways.
How much would it cost to repair?
I don't know, without looking at them myself, I don't know how far gone they are. It may be just a matter of replacing. Replacing the dump bodies can be done in-house. Like I said, it's gonna tie the truck up. But there could be some savings there. As long as we can get to it. 2 trucks over the summer, I mean, it's possible. I don't know if we'll get to both. We got a lot of other stuff to do. But we can definitely look into doing that.
Okay, because that'd be good to know before the fall town meeting.
Yeah, we'll know
Right,
before
right.
that, definitely.
Yeah, so I received the quotes yesterday, so I really haven't gone through them as far as, seeing. I know it includes all the lights and everything else that a body would need. But if we're repairing it, we already have the lights on it, so it's just a matter of seeing if, Scott's guys are able to do that.
And these bodies won't pass inspection without
They
it.
won't pass it. Yeah, they barely made it this year. All it is it's side rot along the sides. Any type of rot on any of your trucks now, whether it be fenders or body-wise, it's not like it used to be when you used to be able to just cover them up and move on. It's They just won't pass them now. Everything's on cameras for the inspections. So
Why don't we carry it at 31,000 and not move forward till you come back and tell us
Yep.
whether Scotty can fix them?
that's fine. So we'll put that at 31.
The ADA, take out of your budget, because that goes under Rick.
Yes. I just listed so we have it there. but
Yeah, no, I
that's fine.
understand.
Yep.
Dump truck.
So looking at the list I had given you, you had the dump truck and the pickup truck in the same. We're actually looking to replace a pickup, which would be the 60,000. The dump truck wouldn't be until 27, because we'll be replacing these bodies or fixing the bodies on our dumps so we can put those back a few years.
So the dump truck goes to 27?
That's the 90,000 that's listed. If you look on my big sheet.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the 60 would be for 25. And that's also quoted right to there. It's like 58 right now.
So Al, on your list, your first one you have is dump truck, it's a pickup truck. Makes a very big difference.
Yeah, it's about $30,000 for pricing.
Okay.
And I have quotes for both of them also. Like I said, it's now, not October.
What's
So
wrong with the pickup truck?
It's the old sewer department
When
truck.
did-
It's a
you got-
2011 that got handed down. Right now, we have, it didn't pass inspection, but we're looking to get the catalytic converter replaced. And I just have to see what that's going to cost.
But if it didn't pass inspection, how are you using it?
It's rejected, so we have it, we're using it within the
It's emissions,
grounds.
right?
Yeah. it's
Emissions, I think you get
Oh,
60
okay.
days or
Yeah.
something.
But it's our second oldest truck. We have a 2008, that's our oldest, and this is the 2011 Ford, it's a 150.
And you got quotes,
Yes,
state bid list type
all
stuff?
state bid list, yeah.
So the $60,000 is safe?
Yes. As well, as of now.
Till July 1st
It's only,
it is.
yeah, so it's only 30, it's only a 30-day quote. So, as we get closer to October, I'll have to
Yeah,
get
July
an
July
updated.
1st, the numbers will change.
I'll have to get an updated quote, but
What's the news on the town park building? Do we have any better numbers yet?
so the town park building that's for May. So do you want to finish what we're going through here in October?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay. So the skate park design plan, which is listed at 80,000, that's the next step. So we went for the feasibility study. Feasibility study went through. We're at that next stage. So to move forward, to actually go to a design for a project, for the project, it's going to be $80,000 to go through the building plan of that. And that's really the next step to moving forward. So we put that in 25 also.
I'm a little hesitant to spend $80,000 on a design unless town meeting approves the intent to spend $2 million on the park.
Right.
Well, how do you do that? That would be backwards. Can we do that? Can we do that? I don't know how you would do that.
Well, you got to tell people that spending 80,000, you're really committing to 2 million. Because just to do a design, if you're not on board with 2 million, remember, this is going to come right in the middle of the school.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see what you're saying. So when it gets presented, it should be presented as what the construction costs could possibly be.
It's like years ago when we did the computers at the school, and it was $30,000 a year for 3 years. You can't commit future years. But we presented saying, this is a $100,000 project. You're committing 30 grand, but once you commit to 30, next year and the year after, you're going to get $30,000 bills. I'm just concerned because we're going to be asking for $150 million or more,
Right, so when one of the commissioners present that at town meeting, they'll have to just make sure that that's spoken of.
In between now and then, hopefully, there'll be some grant work happening too, so, I mean, there's definitely grants out there for the
That would
project.
be nice.
Yes.
But again, I just want to make it clear that we go through this in the skate park. Where, do we know where it would be?
Right now, the feasibility study is showing it on Depot Street, at the Vernon Field, outside this, next to Pheasant Run.
Right next to Vernon Grove, right at the
Vernon
corner.
Oh, okay, the baseball
Small
field
ball
there?
field, yeah.
Yeah.
So over the years, that's been used a lot less because of its lack of parking. So we don't really give permits down there now because, unless it's an emergency for baseball, because of the parking concerns. Yeah, so, you know, as everything within our October, everything, when we, you know, go through it, if things have to get pushed back, like we also have mowers and blowers listed. We're not out of mowers. What's happening with our mowers is a couple of them are really old, like 2000, 10-ish, 2005-ish. So they're at that point where they aren't making the parts for them anymore. So when we're having issues with them, we're not able to get the parts for them. So what we're doing is sort of mixing and matching what we have. So we have two similar mowers that we've purchased together within a couple of years of each other. So within, the next 3 to 4 months, we're probably going to be down to one of those actually being able to be used and one being used for parts.
But the 50 grand,
50 grand is, that would basically be a mower and a blower or two mowers. That's going to come to about 38. That's the only quote I don't have right now, but knowing what they've cost in the past, and it's also state bid. So I'll look to get that quote for you, so we know exact amount. And then the Pearl Street basketball and parking, we just put that on there as our next, major project that has been pushed back because of cost purposes.
now, that was part of the town park proposal?
All through, it was separate. It was bid separately.
No, I know it was bid separately, but when we presented it to town meeting,
Right.
it was town park,
Right.
it was the building,
Right.
it was the band, I don't know what you call it, the bandstand.
Right, and that was
And
in,
the-
right, and that was as far as pushing it forward to see what, we didn't know what it was going to cost. So we had the 1.3 in the grant money that was all for town park, had nothing to do with Pearl Street, any of the grant money, so that was totally separate. We put them together because the architect was doing the drawings for both, the same architect, but they would bid separately.
No, I'm not worried about the bid, I'm just trying to understand. I thought it was $2 million for the four things,
No. No, we got 1.3 from a grant.
right?
We went to town meeting for 750,000.
Which brought it up to 2 million.
Right, but the rest of the money was ARPA funds that we had within the
And
town.
forgetting where it was funded from.
Right.
The original proposal was $2 million for four things.
It wasn't four things. It was town park that includes the buildings and bathrooms, but they would bid separately. The other wasn't, it was part of that project. It went out together, but it was bid separately. So that when the cost came in, we knew the funds weren't there. And that's why we couldn't move forward. So we only approved one of those bids, and that would be the 1.9 through Rad Sports for the courts and all that. When we got the bids for the building and we got the bids for Pearl Street, there wasn't the funding there. And that's why we couldn't move forward with them. We had already paid to have the designs drawn up, but it wasn't, we weren't going to approve anything without the funds.
So Pearl Street was not part of the grant
No,
that we promised.
no. And that's why we're able to push it back to October, because that will,
400,000, doesn't that seem like a lot of money for a parking lot?
well, it's not a parking lot, it's a basketball court, fencing, potential lighting, picnic area, and then 18 parking spots, which is already fully designed. So it's not, like we'd have to go that next stage. We already have the full design. So basically, it would just have to go out for rebid because it's been over a certain time that you can actually use the bids that you already had.
So the double basketball courts stay?
One basketball court.
Is that what we have there now?
There's two,
Oh,
but one, the closest to the
Street.
youth center will be a parking. Then there'll be a picnic area that goes through to a fenced-in basketball court on the Winter Street side. And that's what the designs are.
we expect that to be $400,000.
Came in at 370 when we bid it. So I would say it's going to be pretty close to that, yeah.
Yeah, that one is a big concern of mine,
Yeah.
because that $1 million that we put away in the fall is already eaten up.
What? You said that twice now. For what? What's it eating up then?
The building,
That's what they're saying, so you're saying it's eating up though.
we're gonna have a building that you said was 900,000.
Bathrooms came in at bid at 850, and then the bandstand another 150.
So $1 million, so that's gone.
Are you talking in reference to Pearl Street?
Well, Pearl Street would be an additional 400 of capital.
Yeah, which is not being asked now, and should be taken up separately. If we don't have the funds, we don't have the funds.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So that's October.
Because there was some confusion before.
Right, that's what I'm trying to, and in the email I had sent, that's what I was trying to explain in the email for May 25, just to show that the commissioner's priority is town park. That it would be the bathrooms and the bandstand. That is the priority. That's why the commissioners decided to push back that 400,000 to 25 in October, and then that's a total separate discussion. Whether that goes through, whether it gets pushed back, whether it gets pushed back again.
Because Zach, the original $2 million that we hoped we'd spend is now looking more like 3.4 million.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying the Pearl Street one is the one that I have a question about, because
Agreed.
there's no fun, it's not like we put funding away for that.
Go on. Yeah, opposite.
Any other comments on Pearl Street, the necessity?
No,
or-
so that's, I mean, that's everything that we have for 25. Like I said, I have all the quotes, so I can email those to you. And like I said, the quotes are the quotes. The only ones that I don't see changing would be the dump bodies, as far as the quotes that I have for replacing them. But the others, may have to be adjusted as we get closer to October. So if you're fine with that, we'll move to Town Park. So it was multiple times we've come in to discuss, what we want to move forward with. And at this point, we looked at a couple different options. It looks like the best option is going to be to rebid it and move forward with the original bathroom bandstand plan. We did look into the modular. It's $750,000, which is about $100,000 from where the other bid came in, but it doesn't include the added storage on the backside. And that's sort of a big part, to have that storage. But it interferes with the deadline of the grant itself. So it's almost a 12-month span once you order it to actually have it installed. And that would put us well past the spring of '26 deadline.
Did we ever get an answer, Zach, about, do we have to have the work done by the end of this year or just started in process?
So most of this grant has to be completed during fiscal '25 for reimbursement purposes. Unfortunately, you're there, I know that, because I've been working on it all day today. So that part's good. The remaining piece is throughout fiscal '26, which is only $66,000 remaining, but the project needs to be completed by 2026 fiscal.
And this plan would allow that to happen?
The bidding plan would, not the modular. So the bidding plan would be the original building and bandstand. So we looked at a couple options to see if it would be any cheaper. But the other one is cheaper by about $100,000, less the added storage in the back, but also the big part of that that's unfavorable is the
Completion.
timeline. Timeline won't be done in the time that we need it for the grant.
Now, this is, how many bathrooms?
It would be, the plan had it for men's, women's, and a family bathroom, so 3 total bathrooms.
Eliminating one of the bathrooms, does that save us any money?
You're still restoring the building. So we're not changing the size of the building, the existing building. We're actually using the existing building. It's just basically getting gutted out and resurfaced. So new roof, new electrical, new plumbing, siding, obviously all the walkways leading to the building.
But my question is, we don't need 3 bathrooms by code, correct?
By code, no.
So it's something we would like to have.
Added family bathroom, yeah, it'd be helpful up there, I think, yeah.
So if we eliminated that, would we save any money?
That's what we'd have to look within the quote, within the bid. I could talk to the architects for that. I don't know how much it would save.
Well, Jimmy, I'm not saying I want to,
No.
but,
But the only way I can answer that is to have the architect look at it, and,
yeah, I would like the answer, because if he says it's going to save us $100,000,
yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that
then
much.
that's one thing. If he
Right.
says it's going to save us
It might
10
save
grand,
it 20 because you still have to rehab the space.
that's what I'm looking at is,
Yeah.
we're going to be asked, why do we have 3 bathrooms? Because we would like it. Originally, we said by code, but it's been brought to our attention that,
No, we didn't have it by code.
no, but the rumor was it was by code.
No, it wasn't by code. It was just an added, having a family bathroom would be nice for people that have kids that they need to go in the bathroom with. It wasn't any by code.
Legitimate question is, how much extra does that put on? And if it's 10 or 20 grand, it's a lot of money, but it's probably worth it. If it's 50, 70 grand,
Yeah, I don't think,
No.
I think 20 or 30 would be more accurate, but
But,
We can
but
find
Al,
out.
but like I said, the space still, it needs to be renovated.
yes,
So you're already renovating the space. You're just talking about the money to add the plumbing to it.
that's all I'm
basic.
asking is, just come back
Right,
and tell
you-
us.
If you're at 20 or 30, you'll be lucky, but I think you can get a better answer from the quote, so.
Yeah, it's just legitimately, somebody's asked and somebody will ask.
so then that could go in as an addendum in the bids, where one would be priced at with just the men's and women's room, one could be priced at the men's, the family, and
Yeah,
the
and Jimmy,
women's.
it's not even a formal addendum we need, just the architect to say, it's going to be in the range of
Right.
10 grand, 20 grand. If he
Right, well,
says
that's
it's going to
why-
be in the range of 150,
That's why I'd be more comfortable doing it through the bid process.
Okay.
Only because, that's why we're in this situation, because it was estimated originally for this bathroom to be 400,000 and it's doubled.
So you're gonna put it out to
You know.
bid again, right?
Yeah, we have
So
to,
put it out to bid with an alternative, a 3rd bathroom.
right, with the 3rd bathroom.
There you go.
We could do
Just use that
that.
as an alternate.
that'll give everybody, because it's, even 20 grand is a lot of money. It's probably still worth doing, but, Joyce, any questions?
No, all good, Al.
Any questions, good sir?
No, so far, so good.
And then as far as, it was, recommended a clerk of the works.
Yes.
So that would be part of that funding also, that million that we're going for at town meeting. So that 30, I'm guessing it would be between 20 and 35,000, depending on experience-wise. So that would be part of that funding also.
I
That would be
think that's a
working.
good use of money.
It's definitely a good use of money.
Right.
If nothing else, it answers the questions, who's watching the chickens?
Yep. You don't wanna find out in 5 years something's wrong because we weren't paying attention. I've seen that happen.
Too many times.
I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
How many people are invited to quote on this?
Whoever wants to. So it's posted on the town website, and then different contractors can put in a bid. On an average, for this project, the last time we went through, we had 5.
Is there a prequal for that?
For the original full, the courts and stuff, it was about the same 5 or 6. So it all depends. And the prices were varied. I mean, we went from, our lowest bid was 1,900,000, and the highest for the same project was like 2.6.
Prevailing wage.
So they do range. The company we use, just to give you an idea, the company we did end up using, they do everything. They don't have to outsource their work. They have all divisions within, so their fencing's done by them. So they're able to, put the lower price in because they're not bringing a contractor in to do the fencing. They can do all that work themselves. The post-tension concrete that they did for the courts, they do all that themselves. So the only outsourcing that they did was the electrical. Everything else was done through them, so that they were able to give the better price. That's the, sort of the reason why we got the better price with them.
Gotcha.
Anything else?
Oh, you want more?
No.
No. So,
I think this year, we're gonna have to wait to see what happens in May, because that'll tell us how much money we're looking, and nothing's official till it's voted on, but we're looking at a budget of 1.75 million for capital. And we're already at needed $3 million requests. So unless we get some good free cash, and again, the free cash starts getting tight because when you start talking about a $300 to $350 million school, that's a guess, pure unadulterated guess.
That's a good guess, though.
I think so, especially where the SBA said if you want to do 7 through 12, 7 is on the town 100% dollar for dollar. Now, long term, it may be the right move. But short term, that means in 2-3 years, when we go to people and start asking them to raise their taxes from an average of $6,500 to $8,000, that's going to be a hard one.
I'm moving out.
Huh?
I'm moving out.
Don't say that. Don't even kid. That's the scariest thing I've heard from a lot of the seniors who are living on $1,800 a month. That if you start increasing taxes at the rate we're projecting, they may not be able to afford it. So rather than have a vote of acceptance on this, Joyce, do you have any issues with what they've presented?
No, I don't.
Any issues? We'll leave it at this, and come summertime, after the May meeting, we'll have a better idea of funding. Because there's other departments like highway.
I am asking for anything.
Huh?
We just got to keep the fire department. No more Tui toys.
We've pushed back TUI toys, but everybody, it's 200,000 for this, 300,000 for that.
Cross your fingers, the brook is out to bid again. Cross your fingers.
Brook? What's wrong with the
Just,
Brook?
well, the Godfrey Brook project that came back for more money, it's out to bid again. We'll get the bids in a week. I hope we're good.
I would like some good news on that.
I hope so. You can't tell. You just don't know. You really don't. Had a lot of people show up for the pre-bid. There was a lot of companies there, but you don't know. A lot of them are looking at it like it's a bigger job than they thought. So we'll
Well,
see.
the other thing too we've got to deal with is space for highway and parks.
that's in our 5-year plan, too.
Yeah, but it's in for a $3 million building, coming right at the time that we're asking for money for the
Yeah.
school.
That's why we can work that in with the school. Just a suggestion. Just a suggestion. We do a lot for that school.
All right, thank you, Al.
Any other questions?
All good?
All good. We'll
Thank you.
talk to you again in the summer. Get me those 5 questions so we can put together our packages.
We'll see you tonight.
Yeah, I'll be late.
Huh?
I'll be late.
Should be late. Shocker.
I'm waiting for things.
I'll see you.
You're waiting
FinCom.
Yeah, I wish.
Any other questions, Joyce?
No, I'm all good, Al.
Any questions on this side?
No,
Then I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
second.
Motion to adjourn is not debatable. Roll call, Joyce.
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Unanimous. For those watching, thank you. Good night, and in 25 minutes, the full FinCom will take up its meeting.